start recording. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's live trading session with CASHTRAP. If it's not working, I think they've been doing some updates, then we'll look at market structure and channels and how we arrive at our analysis when we are trading. So I'm just going to start sharing screen. And let's go over, first of all, to Forex Factory, the 23rd of Feb, and we are here. So it's a bank holiday in Japan. That can affect volume in the market. Quite a lot of yellow flag news, and 4 p.m. my time, I'm in Paris, is USD red flag. So that's been and gone. And we've got some Canadian coming up at 6:30 p.m. So that'll be 5:30 UK. So once we've done that, let's have a look at our currency strength meter. NZD, Canadian dollar, euro. As I say, I'm not sure I'll be able to do any trading, but I've got a plan for what to do instead. So I'll just get those written down. I'll come over. This is HourGlass, which says it looks like it's still down. But not to worry, we've got other things that we can do. I will just try again. Just go on to, let's see if it's still down. So what you'll find is if you get consistent in your process, how you get going each day, what time you get going, the procedures that you follow, then it gets you sort of in the zone and far more settled. Yeah, so at the moment, HourGlass isn't working, not to worry. HourGlass down. So I'm just going to come over to show you the Harmonic Scanner. I'm not going to linger on this. This is Forex. This is what I first learned. But I wanted to show you USD JPY because Matty Pips, our top educator, he likes to trade and he's made most of his money off this. Euro USD, which is the biggest single traded currency pair, Forex pair, USD JPY and Euro JPY. So just showing you this scan on the hourly because we're going to look at USD JPY. Now, this shows you 5 reversal points in the market, and they all have different names: Gartley, Shark, Cipher. You needn't bother yourself about this because we're on HFX, which is very small scalping, right down on the smaller time frames. But sometimes we get asked questions about how do you know, how do you have confidence when you see a quarter theory point or a strong line of support and resistance? We've marked them off going from the daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, and put on our auto support. How do we really feel confident that the market's going to turn, particularly when we look at market timing, which Evan Cabral teaches us, you know, on the hour and the half hour, you know, the quarters, that price will turn. And then sometimes it crashes on through, it carries on down, or it goes on up. Well, that could be red flag news, that could be Forex Factory, it could be time of day. I was on one of Matty's sessions the other night, and it might have been Friday. He'd just finished his end of the week payout, and one of his trades he made 211,000. It's quite phenomenal. Another one was 89,000, another one was 79,000. But it's all relative because that's still only about 1% of his account, remember, and he's been doing this a long time. But it got to, I don't know, 7:30 my time, 7:30 your time, UK time. And he said on the half hour, I don't know which one it was, USD JPY, Euro JPY, that will turn, you know, and there'll be a call. Well, actually it didn't, it carried on down. And that could have been time of day because it was end of the week, it was Friday, it's coming up to market close, and the spreads do different things, sort of when it closes after 9 p.m, 9 till 10, you'll see it swing wildly. And that's why when the market opens again at the beginning of the week, I don't think I can see a gap here. You'll see a gap between the pips where it closed on the Friday and opened on the Monday. And that's why it's not a good idea to be in trades over the weekend. I can't actually see a gap on this one, but sometimes you'll see a gap in the candles, which is the Friday to Monday close to open. So all these different shapes, it's 5 reversal points in the market. And what this is telling us off this D point is that USD JPY has now formed a new low point and it wants to go up. And as we know, we then get these little reversals, and we're trading the trend, or we're trading consolidation. That's when the Bollinger Bands go tighter, or we're trading little reversals, pullbacks. So for example here, although this is on an hourly, if we wanted, if the USD was stronger than the JPY, Japan, which it is at the moment, then on the lower time frame, we might say to ourselves, we'll wait for this pullback to a certain level of support and resistance, and then we will get in for a call because we want to trade with the strength of the currency meter. So it gives you confidence if you understand what the market is doing when it's making these channel changes. The market's always making channels. Now I do still draw these up because of the way I was taught to trade Forex originally before I then learned the HFX. So we won't go into the details of this except to say this is what you call an Elliott Wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Elliott Wave 3 to 5 or 5 to 7. The market always moves in waves, and then once it's reached this point and decided that's finished its Elliott Wave, it's all based on Fibonacci, which is what you find in the universe. Peter Bullivant did a post on that. Then it will come down again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Sorry, it comes down to there. So I can't quite see where it is because it's hard, and it's hard when you're in trading in Forex. It's very hard to actually see the Elliott Wave when you're in it. But anyway, that's what's happened. It's finished now. It's Elliott Wave down and it's starting a new wave up. And the market repeats that pattern on every single time frame. It's the same pattern. It's just if I went down to the 15 minutes, I would have this same pattern, X to A, but it would be just showing more little wrinkles in it because of the different number of candles in the time frame. On the hourly, this is over from 9 a.m. my time to 11th of Feb to the 17th of Feb. So that's over six days of trading. So it's got all those candles over those 6 days, and each hour is just one candle. So let's head over to TradingView and find USD JPY on the hourly. Oh, wrong chart. Sorry, that's CASHTRAP chart. Well, we'll come back to that because we'll translate it into CASHTRAP. But what I'll do is show you it on the chart that I draw it on. It's a different template. So you always draw it on the same time frame. Christopher Terry invented this Harmonic Scanner, $200 million trader. And here you see that pattern. So I've drawn it on here, and then I stick these on. This is a particular trading strategy, and this is called a pitchfork from X to C to D. And the reason this is important is it's a trend line. You've heard of trend lines when we talk about support and resistance and looking at the trend in the market. It's just that pitchforks are highly aggressive trend lines. They are extremely accurate, whereas a trend line can be a little bit of a zone. But Fibonacci, these have Fibonacci built into them. So it's a very precise strategy because the scan itself, you don't have to have the pink color, it's the pitchfork that counts. The pink color just shows you the shape, but it's the scan has Fibonacci built into it, and the pitchfork has Fibonacci built into it. So what I'm going to do is just now hide.
Have you? Tough old day, yeah. Was it? What you been up to?
I'm going to hide the scan and the Pitchfork. I'm not going to look at that anymore. It's just to explain to you, hide that one in the background. And I've drawn on, no, I haven't, I'm lying. I put on the auto support. Let me just take that off. Don't need any of that. I'm going to take everything off. Actually, I think what I'll do is go back now. I'll go back and do this on CASHTRAP. Let me just put all that back on. And come over to our CASHTRAP. I did say it was members only on Zoom. Don't need to do that. Right, I'm going to come back to USD on CASHTRAP, this one. And what we're going to do is take off all the indicators and have a look at how this currency pair moves, as it's one of Matty's most successful pairs, how he's made the bulk of his money. And if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for us. Where's that last? Take that off. Right, so I've got a clean chart. I've got it on the hourly. And you can see above, I think I've got my FX sessions pairs. I think I had the settings slightly wrong on this. Tokyo. I'll leave it where it is actually. I think I had it slightly, I've got Tokyo slightly out. I think it needs to be 19, not, I think it's an hour. I've got it starting at 2 AM my time. It needs to be at 1 AM. I'll change that to 19. I hope I've done that right. It doesn't really matter for the purposes of this exercise. Right, so we've got it on hourly chart. With each of these is 1 day's trading. So green is Tokyo, yellow is London, blue is New York. Tokyo has the smallest volume of trading, which is why you get a small range of pips in Forex. It takes $10 million to move 1 pip. The bigger banks are in London and New York, which is why we tend to trade those. It's got the higher liquidity and the higher volume. But when we're trading HFX, sorry, that's on Forex. When we're trading HFX, that's why it's so popular for us to trade Tokyo, because we can trade very little amounts. We don't necessarily want huge volatility and huge swings. And all that volatility means is volume. It's the volume of the trading going on. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could put it on the 15-minute, which would be nearer to our time scale. And we'll just go back 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll put those lines on. So I'm just going back to here. That looks like there's a big move there. So when we're looking at how this pair moves, and we're going to look at Tokyo, and you see start of London, and I've gone back to the 15th of Feb. So usually I'll go back 10 days, but I'm not going to do that for today. So vertical line, and we can see that price moved, what time's that? 1:30, 1:15, there we are, I've done that right. So there's our 1 o'clock open of Tokyo. Clone that. And there's our Frankfurt opens an hour before London, so you start to get movement in the market. There's 9 o'clock, so that looks slightly out. I'll have to change those later. So you can see in Tokyo, it only moved 17 pips. Tokyo generally will only move 20 to 25 pips. So if we're trading USD JPY in Tokyo, that's better for us to take these little on the hour down to the half hour. There's the half hour up to the hour and carried on up. So that's a question where you get, that's a case in point. You've got a doji candle there. You see that little one? In fact, you've got 2 of them. If I move that, you've got 2 there. And you can see that what's happening is the market is saying, we don't know which way we want to go. And that's when you get those little doji candles, like little spinning tops, 50-50 trade, we call them. And it means the market's saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to go up or down. It's probed up equally, it's probed down equally. It's a little spinning top, and it's done it twice at the open of London. And then it says, do you know what, I'm going to carry on up. So it carries on up, and then quite a lot of consolidation in New York. And in fact, it only moved, how much did it move? If we go to open of New York, it moved very little till the close. Let's take that off. See if I can, from there down to there, it's only moved 13 pips. So USD JPY, an out of session pair, it's out of session, USD out of session. In London, it's out of session. USD belongs to the blue one, to New York, and the JPY, the Japanese yen, belongs to Tokyo. But you can see it chose to make quite a big move. It's a big move in London, but then it didn't reverse down very much at all. It just consolidated again. Now that could have been red flag news. I don't know what happens on that day, and we won't go back to that. So we'll just carry on looking at when we've got this kind of consolidation. So this is very, very small. If we put the 200 EMA on, because we look at whether price is above or below it on our, and remember I'm on 15 minutes rather than 5. But you can see that's acting as a floor, and price wanted to move up above that 200 moving average. So this would have been quite good to trade. This, not bad. If you'd had the currency strength meter telling you that the US dollar was stronger than the Japanese yen, this would have been a very good reason once you saw this to wait for pullbacks. Wait for pullbacks if it did little pullbacks, and then it might have done that on the shorter time frame. We'll have a look a bit later on. I just want to give you the overall principle, and then carry on just only taking calls. And this overall trend shows you why. So not much happening in New York there. So what happened again? Did it happen again? Do another clone of that. So here we have the next day, open of Tokyo. Open of Tokyo, it's carried on up. You could draw a trend line there. And then it decided it was going to drop. So all that consolidation, it still had some momentum in it for the upside. And then it said, I'm going to go down in London. And this is why you get this New York reversal, which I often talk about. So in New York, USD, JPY, the dollar, very strong, open of New York. And it said, that's the 12 o'clock candle. So there's a half hour, that's open Cabral's market timing. Where's the 12:30? Just 12:30 was above the 200, and then you see it drop below. So it's probed down, but it carried on up. Now this Tokyo here, which is the 17th, try and speed up a bit now so we can get to the point in time. So it's just looking at there, another little doji candle. It decided in Tokyo it was pushing down. It made a bit more move. Again, you'd have to check your Forex factory to see what's going on these days, to see if that affected the movement, which it could well do. So it actually did 30 pips, so slightly bigger than average in Tokyo. And then this is market expansion, and then it decided it was going up, and then there's that reversal in New York. So if we were trading USD JPY in Tokyo in this instance, you can see that its trend generally was going down, ranging a bit, but then it dropped. So you might have taken that as a pullback. Some of these 5-minute ones hidden within here. Remember, each of these is 15 minutes. So you've got 3 5-minute candles within each one of these. And you can see the wicks at the top. And that's showing you that there isn't a lot of volume there. It's probing up, but it's closing lower down. So it's failing to carry on the upward momentum. And then that's what these flat top candles are telling you, that the strong volume is there for the downside. So you could have seen theoretically that the US dollar was weaker at this on this day in Tokyo, and therefore you'd be looking for those little pullbacks, and that's why we wait before you then take the put, not the call, the sell, not the buy, because you understand what's happening in the overall trend in the marketplace. As I say, we're trading these very small areas. We'll come onto it and just get up to a couple of more examples, and then we can analyze it a bit deeper. So open of Tokyo again, and the reason I'm focusing on Tokyo is, of course, Matty Pips' favourite time, 4 AM UK time. So he's coming in at 5 my time. He's coming in here, so you can see what he likes to trade there. That's Matty's this is one of his favourite pairs. So let's clone that and start to hone in. This is where Matty, I'm on Paris time. So Matty is trading, and this is his favourite time to trade, 5 till 6, there to there. And remember that Money Marks, when he starts, he'll be taking over this time slot, I think. So obviously this is going to be a good time. They'll have this would be an evening session for them, and then my session's a morning session. So I'll change my time accordingly. So in that hour, you've got 12 5-minute candles. You've got 4 15-minute ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the end of his session. And that has made him $8.5 million, that in Euro USD. So that's why we talk about the fact you don't need these big moves. We don't want them necessarily, but we do like to see sometimes, so that we can understand these little pullbacks. So there's the US dollar weaker than the Japanese yen being pushed down, and these, sorry. Hello? Hello? I can't talk, I'm doing my live. It's my daughter, sorry. So let's have a look the next day. So there it went down in London, up a bit in New York, but then sometimes price can rest along this 200. It's being pushed down slowly, but it's finished its moves for the day. Very, very low volume trading. And again, sometimes this happens like at the end of the month when you've got non-farm payroll, which is the biggest monthly news in the trading calendar. So the market will start to sort of tighten up as it gets into that week. If you kind of think, well, why isn't it moving as much as you think it does? And I'll show you something else I just thought to show you. So I'm going to look at, there's Matty's session again, 5 o'clock to 6, just that little bit there. And he will have identified from our lines of support and resistance where price previously stalled out. So as I get closer, and there's USD JPY, not in session in London, it drops down, New York reversal. Doesn't mean to say it always just doesn't do a lot of moving in towards the end of New York. Sometimes it can. It's just we happen to see quite a lot of low volume, but here you can see there was quite a bit more there. And obviously some big news here that affected the US dollar. at the 22nd, which was yesterday, and I can't remember what that was. Vertical line for 5 a.m. your time, 5 my time, there, and clone that, and that little movement there. And London, we don't tend to trade, and in fact it carried on a lot. So because it made this big move, that move was, it moved 85 pips. So that's 850 million, nearly $1 billion. So because price has made a big move, and that's off the 105,800, the zeros Les talked about yesterday, down to 105. So it's done a very big quarter theory move. But because it's done that, it will then want to rest. And that's after price makes a big move, there it is resting. So that brings us up to date. So let's have a look at where we are today. And if you are interested, if you go to Google and just type in pip ranges for, say, you can do it just for Forex, but for USD, how many pips does USD move daily? There are charts on this. We don't want to calculate. I'm not looking at that. I'll look at images. You'll find it in images. USD monthly average pip ranges. So you can drill down into this and it will tell you by season and by days and weeklies. Weekly pip range, that's 27 to 2018. But you'll find this on some of the sites, but it's quite interesting. USD JPY Forex pair. So time frame, hourly, pip ranges, minimum of 2.4, average 7, maximum 16. So again, you can look in sessions, you can look in spring, March, April, May is best for Forex, for example. You can look at Tuesday to Thursdays. Pips will have a bigger range than Mondays to Fridays, the start of the market week and the close of the market week. So that's quite interesting to help you understand your pairs as well. So what we're going to do is come down now to our level that we look at, which is the 5 minute, and see what's been happening today on one of Matty's favorite pairs. So what we can see happened, what did happen yesterday? Yesterday it made this big move down, and therefore it has rested, and it's been in a downward trend. If we come back and look at my hourly scan, it's been in a downward trend. Remember, I'm on the hourly. So it started that downward trend yesterday, that C point at the top, which wasn't quite up at that quarter point. It carried on down. There's that resting that we looked at right along. There's that quarter point acting as a line, a strong line of support. It dipped a little bit there. Doji candle open of Tokyo. The D point formed. It's the scan's still valid because it hasn't come outside. These are like Bollinger Bands. They're just a different way of looking at it. These are extensions of this Pitchfork, and they're called Fibonacci. So it's still within the scan, and then it said I'm going up, and New York, it's decided to reverse, but this is being held here by these lines of support and resistance. So we can see that it has been in a downward trend for quite a while. That's the 17th of Feb, that high point up there. And if it, let me see if it, when was it last up at that point on my hourly? Not for a long time. Up here. So it was last up there, 10th of September. So it's been very, very high. And it's now working its way back down. So on our 5-minute chart, what is it that we actually want to look at? Get rid of, hide some of these. And how are we going to make a decision? So we know overall it's been in a downward trend. Doesn't necessarily affect us because we're on HFX, just scalping, simple win or lose. We're not stop losses and lot sizes and trying to work as many pips as we can to make our money. But this blue line is one that professional traders use. It's called 200 exponential moving average. And that means that what all the exponential means rather than simple moving average is that it's weighting price to the most recent rather than the equally along the line. So, and it will measure 200 candles off any time frame. So we happen to be on the 5-minute. And if price is above it, it's acting as a floor, supporting it. And once price goes below it, then it's acting as a ceiling, and it will be pushing price down. And it's very good for telling the trend. This is why professional traders like the 200 moving average. So they're using that. So if we're looking at where Matty would have been trading, he would have been here for 5 o'clock my time. There, no, he doesn't do a live session with us, so I think he has Mondays off, obviously. Don't think he trades outside our sessions till the 6 o'clock one. So we know price has been in a downward trend. I don't know what the currency strength meter said at this point, but we can see it moved up to the half hour and down. So there is your Evan Cabral's market timing. Just pop that on. Look at the settings. I can't remember which way around. It seems to default the other way around. Or it might not show the old ones, perhaps it only shows the most recent. But there's your 5:30 candle, 5 o'clock, which would be 4:30 UK time. And there's your hourly, and there's your hourly. So you can see how that really respected. So if you were looking at a trade here, that would have worked out extremely well for you. So understanding and getting the confidence on that. Now, sometimes, as we know, price can suddenly run away with us. We've missed the trade, and sometimes it can just carry on through, and it doesn't quite work out for us. But once we get past that time, now I have traded successfully. I think that's when I did the 10 out of 10 the other day. I did 4 in Matty's session, and I carried on afterwards just for about an hour and a half. So that was till 7 o'clock. And most of it was on USD, JPY. It wasn't this particular day, it was a day or two before that. But you can see those wicks. So those are quite difficult ones for us to, although this is the 5-minute because it's very wicky. But then you get that solid bottom, and there's your half hour again, and then it turns back down. There's your 8 a.m., 7 a.m. UK time, and we're just coming, this is what you call an expanding market, and different strategies suit different times of day. So we've got pickpocket, web slinger, and sniper, is it? And I forget which way around they are, but they suit different styles of market. So one of those, I'll have to look at, I must put it on a post-it in front of me to memorize it, but that's an expanding market where the banks are simply in Tokyo selling to each other. And there's a big doji candle. It's deciding what it's going to do in London. And then at 9 a.m., which is that doji candle, it says, you know what, I'm going to carry on up. And there's that big upward move. And there's your New York reversal. So we're going to look at a trade now, just off our own analysis. So that these 15-minute and half hour, sorry, hourly and half hour. So hourly in New York at 2 o'clock UK time, which is This is the crossover. I used to trade this every day for 6 months for people, 2 till 3, and that's the crossover period. And then it settles down. These are when the brokers have actually changed, swapped over 2 p.m. UK time. So 2 till 4 your time, 5 o'clock my time, 3 till 5 is generally when New York across any pair makes its move. And indeed, that is what happened here. Big move down. And then it's now coming to tea time and then into later evening, close of play. So it's kind of very wicky, and it's just balancing that out. So we're now going to look at putting on some other things. So if we put on our quarter theory, what does this tell us? Oh, actually, what I could do actually before I do that is just go over how I'll hide that. We'll just go over how we mark up. I've done it on Euro USD, but I didn't do it on this. I'll just remove those. I'll hide those and I'll look at those another time. Let me just do it on object tree, it'd be a bit quicker. Hide. Just bear with me on this. Right, so daily, we're going to look for another way of looking at the week is Monday's high, the close of Monday's high and the open on Tuesday will give you the market high and low for the week. There's this imbalance video on his YouTube channel goes through that. I was just rewatching that again today. So I'm going to take a horizontal line. I'm on the daily. I seem to have lost my put that there. That's today. I don't have mine in red. I like them in blue and green. So there's at the moment our daily high and low. Put that in green. And then come to the 4 hour. It's fairly straightforward. Here's our Tokyo, London, New York. Just clone that and have a look at what we've got today. So we've got on the 4 hour, we've got a high there. And you can see that broadly matches up with how support turns into resistance. It's now become resistance. And here, resistance here became support. And that's what we mean by support and resistance. The waves, how the market moves in those waves that I showed you. So I'll just clone that. And then for today, we can see on the 4 hourly that we had something very similar there. So we just put that on there, come down to the hourly. Clone that. And we've already got one there. So we've got another we can pick up. Got a couple we can pick up there. So we pick up that doji one, which again is your 2 p.m. That's why you've got that doji. It's your market open. Clone this, and that would be our low on the hourly. We've got some there, so we could pick up that level there, because we've already picked up those levels, that little zone there. And then one more on the 15-minute. Because just because CASHTRAP's down, once you've learnt it, doesn't mean to say you can't trade it. One more here. For the 15-minute. And we needn't go any further because we've got our own support and resistance. So we've got one there. There's a couple we can pick up there. Where does that take us back to? That takes us back to that body of that candle there. That opening of New York back there. And then one more down here. Clone that again. Look for the low of the day on the 15 minutes. And that looks like a good level there. So I'm pick up that, or sort of a zone there. That's the half hour, so I'm going to pick up that line there. So that resistance here then became support. And let's just see what else it's picked up back here. So look at all that line of what was support became resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Took 8 taps to get through. Came down to the next level, and then again resistance. It did wick through. That's close of market, and bottomed out here, which we've marked off as a zone, and then worked its way up. So once we've done that, we're going to come to the 15 minute and put on our own support and resistance. Auto support. And you can see how we've marked some strong levels here, because it's got a line that we've marked on support and resistance plus a green dotted one. So that's a very strong line that it can't break through. And down here in this zone, that matches up very nicely there. So we've got some good levels. Now let's see what happens when we put quarter theory on. So I'm doing this sort of slowly, obviously. But you'll speed up if you're doing it on your own, not talking and explaining. So I've now put quarter theory on. Just let that switch on. There it is. So let me see how many pips I've got there. So that's 25 pips. Just so I get the measure of which one I had on. And you can see again, quarter theory's acted as support back here on the 5 minutes. This helps you understand why you're looking at the moves when you're going to press the button. So for the open of today, price moved down below quarter theory, which is a very strong psychological line of support and resistance. And 3 times it tapped this area here. That's Sydney in black, because I never trade that. I'll wait for Tokyo. Didn't quite get it there, but it's probably only about a pip or so away, and we consider that a touch in a 6.6 trillion market. So 4 times it tapped this line of support and resistance zone, where we've marked 3 of them, and it could not break through. And if we go back to the 15 minute just to see, this is what will give you confidence when you're looking at whether to press the button or not. You can see exactly back here, 12th of Feb, it hit that level again and didn't like it at all. It had finished going down. So we know that it's finished that level for the time being. And again, you see it on that quarter theory there, which is all along here. Okay. So once we've worked that out, sorry, get rid of that. Mouse slow. Back on the 5 minute. You can see that level there. I'll get a little arrow, I think, rather than I have to keep turning it off there. And that's matched up with that. So it's finished the big downward move in New York. It's come up to the 200 moving average though, and that's on a line of resistance at the moment. So let's see what the time is. It's 10 to the hour. We know that we get reversals normally. There's the half hour. So, and there was the 1500 there. So down for that half hour. So normally I'd expect it to go up. Let me just check the currency strength. We've got US stronger than the JPY. So I would expect it to want to come back up to this 105.250, or it's tapped this 105.210. And you can see there that acted as resistance turned into support. And here it turned into support again. So I'll just, so you've got two possible levels, but it is coming through that 200 moving average. So let's see on the 1 minute what's happening. And on the 1 minute, I'm going to put on now our Bollinger Bands. And let's see what that tells us. So on, we can see we've got very strong candles going up. It's been trending. It's now wicking off that line though. It doesn't like that line. And we are 1 minute. So we've got till the hour vertical line. That would be our next 5 minute block on HourGlass. So we've got 52, 3, 4, 5. So we're 2 minutes in, 50, 51, 52. So we're 2 minutes. This is the second minute of this 5 minute candle. We've come off this moving average. We're surfing the Bollinger Band at the top, but it's hitting that 200 moving average and it's wicking off. But we know that the US dollar is stronger than the Japanese yen. We know we're coming up to the hour. And on that basis, I wouldn't necessarily want to take a put. However, just come up there. However, it's that 200 moving average. If you remember what Matty Pipp says, you know, he likes this 200 moving average above his Bollinger Bands for a sell, and down here below. If it's cutting through the middle, it means the bands are tightening and it's consolidating, and it's difficult to take these trades off these moving averages in the middle. So that says to me that it is turning, but we'll just, but normally I wouldn't take a trade just before the hour, but just because of what we're trying to learn, we might take just a practice one. So USD JPY paying out at 67%. It's up at 105.200. I'm on my little GBP one. Put it on 3 minutes. I'll just put it on $1. 105.200. Whoops. Just remind you of where we are on our, and there it is there. So price will always want to come up. 62 is shorter obviously than the 200 moving average. It's well above that. There's the, that is not a 200 EMA, it's something different. I won't bother to go into it, and it's just come off that line there on the 1 minute. So I'll take a trade on that 105.191 just as a test. That says 19191, just to show you, because I don't know, but I think, you know, it wanted to carry on up there, but because it's done this little stall out below the 200 EMA, it could be that it wants to come down and tap that moving average again before a little pullback before it carries on up, because the US dollar is stronger than the Japanese yen. But that's why we say wait for the pullbacks and then get in for the call. Now I've taken a put 105.191 just to show you. Let's have a look here. So it is coming up above that. Time 56. It's going to finish at 57. So it's going to finish 2 minutes into the last 5 minute candle. So it might be that it's just that's all it managed to do down to that level at 105.188, because we know from our analysis what we think is going to happen. That it will want to push up here. We look at the highest level there on the 15-minute. Just let that quarter theory come on. There's that quarter theory on the 15-minute, and you can see it's, so we're going to lose that trade. It's pushing up strongly to that. That's on the 15-minute. It's still carrying on. That was the quarter two. And this is how you decide what you're going to do. So we know that it was pushing up. We know that we were in that last 7 minutes, 5 minutes, and then 3 minutes of the two 5-minute blocks to the hour. So if we know that the currency strength meter is stronger, then it's best to wait to the hour. We could see it was going up. It's at 192, just slightly above, but it's just stalling out there. But it's just trapped, isn't it? Trapped as it comes up to the hour between the 200 moving average, because price will always want to rest along moving averages. And then if it's above it, it says the trend is going to be pushing it down. If it's below it, it's saying the trend is going to be pushing it up. Let's just have a look on here. So that closed, let's see what it, rate 199, it closed that. So 0.8, about half, just over half a pip. And that's all we need, isn't it, to be successful? But we know, let's wait until we get onto the hour and then take the trade again. And then we'll, if anyone's got any questions, please ask. And then we'll see how it plays out. So I'm expecting it to carry on up for the hour and then go down, but really we might not stay on that long, because if it is in this continued upward trend, because we know the US dollar is stronger than the Japanese yen, and Japanese yen is on bank holiday today, so there's going to be less volume in the market, then that might say to us that we don't want to take another call until it comes back down 105.162, which would be down here at this Bollinger Band, and that matches up with my 62 moving average, which is just the shorter one than the 200, and price likes to come down and test that and then carry on its way up. So another way of looking at the market is to put your trend line on. You want a minimum of 2 touches on your candles to confirm it, and you're just, it's a bit subjective. You can pull it in tight. It doesn't matter if it's dipped through, you know, you can pull it out. So my preference would be there. So and try and anchor it on the end of a candle somewhere. So if I put the pivots on, so you can see where highs and lows are. This is lazy man's highs and lows. Price has bottomed out there. It's formed higher lows, which means it's on its way up, but there it's equal. That's equal to all intents and purposes. It's formed a lower high. So it's been changing. It's been changing its channel, changing, it's reversing, because it's formed lower highs here, but it's bottomed out again. So it's and here, but it hasn't yet given us a new higher high. It's given us one higher, sorry, that's a lower high, but what you want to see is a higher high coming up here to show you that that channel is indeed changing. In fact, as we come up to the hour, is now pushing its way above. This is not the 200 EMA on this one. It's a 15-minute one, something a bit different. So there we are. What we've said is we've borne out what we've said. So we tried to take a little pullback, but what happened was it just stalled on that line of resistance. It didn't come down to tap this next one at 105.180. And here we are on the hour, and sure enough, it's come up to where we said, which is your 105, 210, 212, 210 at the moment. We're just looking down here, bottom right of my trading view, 202, that little tick on the end is a pipette. That's why we love trading HFX. We just need to be one pipette over the line either way, and we've won the trade or lost it, as the case may be. And I was about 0.8 out on this one here. So we got in at 191. 191, but it finished at 197 up here. So now the hour has turned, and there's that big drop. It has done exactly what we thought, 105, 193. So that moved quite suddenly. And there it's just reflected there. So, and that's because you see these bottomed out. It doesn't like this line. There is that line there, strong line of resistance. So it's once it breaks this, it's coming down now to hit about 165. Once it breaks this 1 minute trend line, then you know it's doing a little reversal on you. And that's all we need when we're looking at analyzing what we're going to do. So now it's hit this moving average. It comes back to our 5 minute, which is where we look at our analysis. So on our 5 minute, we can take these off now. We've got 3 minutes and 4 seconds, 3 minutes left to run on this 1 5-minute candle. Nice strong flat bottoms going up. Hit this line of resistance, it's tapped it 3 times, just slightly pushing up, just slightly pushing up on the 5 minute, because it could want to come up to the quarter theory point, which is the 105,250. Anything with 5s and 0s are very important lines. They are where the bankers put like $250 million on, and they'll round up or down, put their stop losses at these levels. They're hugely, hugely powerful. So we know the US dollar is stronger. I don't know if it's moved down at all. No, can't see it obviously on HourGlass at the moment. But a nice put would be if it came up to this level and then started to come down again, even though it is still heading up that way. And the reason I think it won't want to go much more today is because New York, it made all its move up, and this is the New York reversal. So this is like a pullback and then down again. So I think it maybe has run out of momentum, but I don't know. If I was a multi-million-dollar trader, then I would probably be able to give you more analysis than I can. But we do all right. We're just nipping in the gaps of the strategies of these big boys, and we can get all we want out of the market for ourselves. So here it is actually coming down. That's the 3 minute. And back on the 1 minute. 3 minutes past, so we've got 2 more minutes of this 5 minute candle. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th minute. 1 more, and you can see there's no trade for us here on this one. So even though you haven't got CASHTRAP working, you can learn how
it's
to.
Back on now, Sarah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I'll just have one quick look at that then. Have a look at USD JPY on here. Thank you. There for a put. So we've got US dollar 53, Japanese yen 47. So if we're going to take a put, we haven't got that in our favor. We've got 20 seconds left to go. Let's see what it says. Red for a put. It's off the Bollinger Bands here, but the problem with it is our red 200 moving average is moving right through the middle. So I wouldn't want to take this trade because of that. And if we go back here, that's why you see these little spikes and you see it just going sideways. That's your 200 moving average, just saying it just resting along it. So I would immediately then not want to do anything with that. See if we can find one where the currency strength is in our favor for a US or USD's a call, but that's weaker than, hello, log me out. Euro JPY, is a put. Oh, Euro USD put 31.54, but it's right down near the bottom. It's in the middle there. That's no good. Euro JPY, same thing. A call. I don't usually trade GJ. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Not in a very good position. There's nothing really setting up. Right through the middle there.
Yeah,
in the middle here. Yeah, there's nothing really, is there?
No.
Start at the top again. This is usually what I do, is I just go back.
Yeah,
I put it on 1 minute and I just have a quick whiz through. So actually, Australian dollar, US dollar. Australian's weaker though on my one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd say if it was coming off that line there, that would be good, but it's saying it's weaker and it went up in London, so I'm not sure I want to take that for a call.
What about GP ord?
GA is yes, not one I usually trade like Les,
No, I don't like.
very fast and it's
Yeah.
wiki. It is such a fast pair. But that was telling us that GA was the GBP very strong against the Australian dollar, so I'd be expecting it from the half hour 58, there's the hour, to want to carry on up to this line. So calls only, but it's not, it needs to come back to at least 1.78354 as a pullback in order for us to have any confidence to take that for a call. And normally we don't like taking trades off that middle area.
No.
USD JPY, as we've said, that's gone into no man's land. USD CAD, that could be good. Where is the US? We've got Canadian news coming up at in 20 minutes. We've got them broadly similar on there. It says it's been, days range is tiny. Let me look on HourGlass. USD CAD says USD 54 to 48 Canadian dollar, 26104. It called a, so I think a put on this might not be a bad thing, but I don't know what the payout is. It's only at 61. So again, if we do something, I'll just do it as a dollar.
Yeah.
That says 26119. You can see it's just dozing off, but those Bollinger Bands are still pointing up and the currency strength meter is not in our favor for a put. And we've got red flag news on Canadian dollar in 20 minutes. So then come back to HourGlass. We'll wait 1 minute. We've got not got that in our favor, but potentially we could have 1, 2, that isn't in our favor, off the Bollinger Bands 3, off a line of resistance 4, and if we got a put, it would be a 5. So that's our kind of thinking. However, if we notice our 200 moving average is right through the middle, so not good, but we'll see. So it just dropped down there, 105. I think it's all, oh, and it's got sell there, so it's already dropped, but we'll see what it says next. Might give us a little pullback for a sell. So even though I see this happening on the 1 minute, I don't get in because I mean, it's like it's gone now anyway, and I'd rather be in sync with what's happening on HourGlass. Okay, well, that's doing a little pullback, so we'll forget that one. It's saying a call at 085, and it's off that moving average in that line of resistance. So we wouldn't want to take that necessarily because it's, although it should still be moving up the currency strength in our favor, but I'm never so keen, and I don't think the others are, of taking trades off this middle area.
No.
and we don't like it because of that line there,
Yeah.
moving right through the middle. So NZD,
The red
USD.
lines through most of them.
Yes, it could be time of day, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's GJ, it's all on the moving averages at the moment. And Japanese bank holiday, GJ, very strong, going up. Yeah, so I don't think there's a lot. Euro NZD, which isn't on his list. Euro is weaker and Euro's weaker, so that's still pushing down. GA just wicking along there. Euro USD just sidling along, not doing anything. No setups there. So this is where you have to mark up your own charts. Euro JPY, just tapping that quarter theory again. Where are we in here? Euro JPY. But the moving average is above. So a lot of consolidation going on, so that's not going to be the best setup. Euro USD. This is the one where I had marked up all my lines before. So Euro downward trend, but bottomed out all along that line of support and resistance. The euro is stronger. It does want to come up, but we're not off the Bollinger Bands. I think we just haven't got anything setting up. There's that Euro JPY still in the downward trend, coming below that quarter theory. If it did do a little turn here, that could be a very nice call. Euro JPY, they're broadly similar. It's next to it. And that's broken through now on, there we are. It's just tapping that 62, as I said. It's just come down to exactly where I said it would, 105, 182, and it's wicking off it. So now it's done that tapping, it'll go carry on up, which should do anyway, but it, you know, it's kind of finishing its move. You can see it's all along that moving average. I was just going to look at Euro JPY on my scanner charts. Just to show us. Let's put that quarter theory on. Oh, I haven't got this one at I've got this one switched on at 25s. Let's put that on. Can't move my, oh, there we are. Let's move that down. So Euro JPY has just done a little pullback to that quarter theory. So if it comes back up, so it could take a, what's it said on HourGlass? Probably missed that. But Euro JPY, a call at 735. Got it pointing up, got the buy, got the call, got it off the Bollinger Band and resistance. We haven't got the currency strength in our favour. 744, it said 735. it's at 76%, 748. So if it came back down, I'm only on a dollar trade, by the way. Looks like it's run away with us. We could have taken that little trade up there.
Yeah.
Because it's still, hang on, put my euro one on. It's still now on its way down. Euro's weaker. There was a little pullback because it would, and that's only a 1 minute one. So let's just what's it doing on the 3 minute. It's just wicked off the inner Bollinger Band, and the 5 minute moved up slightly, but it's still, as you can see, in that downward momentum. So I don't know 1 minute on that would have 1, 2. So we need to see what the third candle did to see for a 3 minute trade whether we would win that. Where is it here? It said get in at 745, and there's our 750. There's our quarter theory. So we're just trading. So you could have taken a little 2 minute one there, but it's just coming back up there, which is past the 15 minute candle as well. Yeah, so we could have taken a little trade there, and it'll touch that moving average, and it should want to turn around and carry on its merry way down, or it might want to come up and touch 0.785, which would be 785 up at your Bollinger Bands here. That's some way off. Hourglass, 2 minutes left. Yes, it's just bumbling along the bottom here on the 5 minute, isn't it? So there wasn't a lot in that for the call. It's only at 737, only 0.2 of a pip. So not a lot of setups, but I hope some of the market context and structure helped, because I find it helpful to understand, even if it doesn't always result in a win. To understand gives you more confidence with when to press the button, that you've done as much analysis as you can, and that on probabilities, like we looked at market timing with some of the vertical lines I drew, it's powerful, isn't it, to see when things turn on the hour and half hour. I'll just stop sharing. Oh, something in the chat. Thanks, Sarah. We've all done it. I don't know why. Oh, Phil's apologising. He had this. It's all right, Phil.
Yeah,
No
sorry about
worries.
that, Sarah.
No worries. No problem. So I hope that's been helpful. I did this session this way because when I came on, Hourglass wasn't working. Not a lot of setups once we got on. It could be time of day, although it's very interesting. Money Marks will be trading this same session apparently when he gets going. So I should be very interested to see that. And I'll have to change my session accordingly. So thanks for joining, and I will be back on Thursday. No more lives this week from Les because he's finishing off some other work. But obviously there's all the live sessions still to go on, and please feel free to message me or ask for Zoom if you want one on anything. Always here to help. So I'm going to finish the
Brilliant.
recording.
Thanks, Sarah.